Okay, good morning again. Welcome to our discussion segment this morning. That's the morning. So tomorrow is Friday. Getting excited. Okay. In this our discussion segments, I have Ebere with me. Ebere, good morning.
Yes, good morning, good morning, good morning. Like I said earlier on, it's glad to be back with you. I mean, it's been a while, and I missed her. I missed her so much.
And I also said that I missed you.
And I'm back. We're back. We're back.
Don't
We're
go
back
dancing.
still.
I just missed you for this. Okay, welcome. Now, hike in price, low quality commodity, the dilemma of the Nigerian consumer. When last did you go to the market? Or what have you noticed in the things that you buy, especially those things that they package? If it is a sachet tomato, the thing and a blow on you with air. And then you notice that the price is even more than what you used to buy it when it's filled. Okay, just like sachet milk and a whole lot of things. Okay, the price hike in price and then low in quality and quantity, not just quality, at quantity. Okay, the quantity is lower than what it used to be, and then the quality is nothing to write home about, yet you are buying it more than you hitherto bought it when it was, standardized. That's what we're going to look at this morning. My name is C. Joma, and like I told you, I have Ebere with me. Ebere, it is the professional area. Please tell us who has joined us for this topic.
All right, we have two guests already seated in the studios, and our very first guest this morning is Humphrey Emmanuel. He's the Principal Consumer Education Officer and Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, FCCPC, here in Anambra State. Good to have you on the show, Humphrey.
Good morning, Anambra, and good morning, my presenter.
Okay. And we also have engineer Mrs. Adora Mba. She is the consumer rights expert, and she is a homemaker. Good to have you on the show.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, can I must clear that you are looking good this morning?
Thank you.
Mr. Humphrey, we've had you here before,
Yes.
isn't it? Okay, so what is going on? Could you please tell our people?
What's going on is much like the topic introduced. Hike in price, low in quality and quantity, the dilemma of Nigerian consumers. It's really a problem which, for me, is orchestrated by the economic situation of Nigeria. And the consumer is not finding it funny because of what is happening in the marketplace, where before now you buy a product for like 10 naira, for instance, but today that product that was sold for 10 naira has gone up to either 20 or 30 naira. And not just the price, but the quantity of that same product has reduced, and the quality as well reduced. So that's the problem, and that is why we are here to look at it to see way forward to ameliorate the suffering of Nigerian consumers.
All right, thank you very much. Let's hear from the woman in the house, and she's an engineer, Mrs. Adora, but she's a consumer rights expert. Consumer rights expert, can you quickly tell us some of your job responsibility?
Okay. You can call it expert. You can call it as activist. Okay. We are like the voice of the consumers. Okay. People are suffering. Go to the market area. People are lamenting. It's sad to say that hunger is real right now, and a lot of families are suffering illnesses, people dying as a result of this same issue. Not just that, yes, there's no money in the system, people are suffering, but beyond that, you go to the market and you cannot still get something. Somebody needs to speak up. And most of these consumers, they don't have that voice. They don't even know the medium. That is where we come in. Okay. We make noise, we raise our voices so that the government, the regulators, and everybody, every stakeholder that should hear would know what is going on.
All right. Thank you. Humphrey, I was going to ask,
Okay.
has it always been like this? Because you talked about economic situation. Because I remember most times whenever I sit down with my dad and mom to have a discussion, they take me back memory lane and they tell me how life was beautiful in their time. Has it always been like this? Where did we go wrong, or where did we get it wrong?
It has actually not been like this before. But like I said, the way things are changing, and I believe we blame that on the managers of the economy of this country. Because if things has been done the right way, this wouldn't have been happening. And the way it is now, this issue of reduction in quantity and quality of the products we eat has given room to deteriorate the economy the more, because it now opens a gap for fakers to come in. And when fakers come in, you see, like the activist said, that there's hunger in the land. And sometimes when people buy, because they've missed what they were supposed to buy in its quality and quantity state, you see that the person may end up buying something that will take him or her to hospital. Because if, for instance, let me say a tin of tomato is supposed to be sold at 10 naira, and the grammage will be like 5, because it has reduced, it's now like 2, for instance. Now, fakers can come in, leverage on this, and make their own to be like 5 gram. But the content is not of the quality and standard of the original producers. So consumers now, not being aware that this is happening, may now go to buy the other one that is fuller, which is fake, then leaving the one that is not full.
Will you call this a government issue? What is the job of SON?
Now, the job of SON is to set standards. In this case, to set standards for these products. But what we ask ourselves is, if these standards are set, do the producers actually abide by it? So many of them do. But the problem that comes in this situation is that when producers change their products, how often do they go to let the public know the changes they've made, so that if you're going to buy, you will know what you're going to buy? In terms of our commission and the responsibilities of consumers, we have what we call beware and be aware. You have to be aware that things like this are existing. Also, you have to be aware of what you are going to buy, knowing the information you are supposed to know about that product. You should be able to know that, for instance, I made mention of a tomato. If you are going to buy a mad tomato now, you should be able to know that a mad tomato has an opening, a cap. You should be able to know how it looks. You should be able to know the color and everything about it, so that when you go into the market, if you see a resemblance of that, you'll be able to know that there's a fake and there's original.
Okay, so talking about pricing and quality, still coming under your domain, what is the relationship between price now and quality? Because I know that, of course, Nigeria has defied every economic theory. Okay, I mean our economy has defied it. When you say that something is of high quality, then you expect that the price will be high. Okay, but in this case, the quality is low and then the price is high. What is the relationship?
The relationship is, should I say, ignorance on the side of consumers, one, and the irresponsibility on the side of producers. Because if you are changing a product and you're making the price higher, it is your responsibility to make Nigerians know, because these are the people that consume what you produce. Now, on our own side, the consumers, most times we don't care to ask questions. Why has this changed? What is going on? Like the activists say that so many people don't speak out. That is why they come in to be the voice of the voiceless. Here in this part of the world, we are always eager to spend our money without being careful when we go into the market. You just see that Okeke is selling this one 10 naira, Okafor is selling 20 naira. You won't wait, pause and think, check these two products that are the same to see why is this one selling 10 naira and this one is selling 20 naira. So that's the problem. Now, when you talk of the relationship, you know, in Nigeria, there is no agency that is regulating price. If there were to be a price regulating agency in Nigeria, yeah?
Are you sure there's no agency regulating price?
I don't think there is any regulatory agency in Nigeria that is in charge of price regulation.
I
don't think so. The only thing is, in our own, there's something we call price gouging. If you come to price gouging, we don't allow that hike to be much. We really know that production takes a lot of money. But when you produce, if you produce something like 10 naira now, for use 10 naira to produce a product, we are expected to make gain in that product.
Sure.
But if you put the price high, then there will be problem. And that is why the issue of competition is introduced in the market today. Because if your price is high, then the other person who has come into the market is producing his own. He has known what it took you to produce because he goes into the line, that same line of product, that process of production. So he has the power, he has the right, so to say,
to fix prices.
To fix price, not fixing price as such, but you fix price, but at least then there's competition. So if there's competition in the market now, it will now make somebody who is hiking his own price to come down, because if I don't buy as a consumer from you and I buy from the other person who his own price is a bit lower, then you'll be forced to come down.
Let's get to you now, Adora. You described yourself as the voice of the voiceless, you know, people who can speak for themselves when it comes to, you know, commodities they buy and all of that. How do you go about this job? You know, how do you go about this job? And at some point, do you get to also reach out to people who you feel that they are voiceless, you know, not to speak out when they get into issues about the commodities they buy?
Well, reaching out to them, we do. Like when we go to the market, that is where the work is. Okay. You go to the market, you see these things for yourself. I have a home, I also go to market, you know. So I experience it as well. I now put myself in the shoes of someone who doesn't even have a job, like doing a menial job, maybe a woman that is plaiting hair in the market and using it to survive. And she has kids. How does she cope? If people that are average are crying, what happens to that person? So it's more of you are experiencing this thing. You're seeing that there are people that their case is even worse. They're not getting value for money that they have spent. And we reach out to regulatory agencies. We make noise. We use social media platforms. We try to take notes of these things. Sometimes we capture images and visuals. Sometimes you compare products. Like I know that milk products, the ones, the powdered milk sachet, the bigger ones, I know there was a time you could get 500 grams. And after a while, the funny thing is that when they changed this thing, we didn't even know that they had changed the net weight. The next thing I started seeing was 400 grams. Before I could know what was, I didn't even know until I bought this milk, and milk that is supposed to last for 1 month in my house. By the 3rd week, they were telling me there's no milk again. And I was wondering. So not until I took the pack, I was looking, how come this milk is not enough? And I found out that it's now 360 grams. Yes. And I was still paying the same amount. So, and even when you make the milk, it's no more as creamy as what it used to be. So this thing is a very big challenge.
It's a very big challenge. So what are you people doing? I am a homemaker, so I go to markets. Apart from you talking to the regulatory agencies, how do you relate to the people directly? Do you go to markets? How do you open the eyes of people like you never knew that you bought 360 gram for 400 gram. Just, I'm hearing it as you are saying it. So it's possible I have fallen into the same trap.
Yes.
So how do you let the consumers know exactly what is going on?
We talk to the consumers. We have sensitization campaigns. You know, you tell them, do you know that this... To the market. To the market.
To August meetings, all those gatherings where you meet women that go to
we
market.
do all that. Even sometimes we work with some government agencies that are like FCCPCs. We engage them too, you know, to talk to the... But the issue is not, even if you tell a consumer that this thing is happening, what will she do? Won't she buy the milk again? Now, what I find out
she may
is
not
that
buy the
she
milk.
might not buy...
You know, the problem we're having in this country is because a lot of people are not really informed about a particular situation. You understand? He mentioned it. You need to be aware of what is going on in your environment. If they do, I bet you one day they will tell the producers that we can survive without milk. You understand? Because they are not properly sensitized. That's where you come in as an activist. That's where you come so that people will know what is going on and know how to tackle it.
People know what is going on.
Who said if we don't drink milk that we're going to die?
Yeah, we wouldn't. But then let's also look at it. Nigerians, we know who we are. I mean, this is not the first time you increase. We don't even want to know. Is it available? I mean, no, let's be very factual. Nigerians just want to know if it's available. So the fact you're not buying for 360.
That's why the producers are taking advantage of us. Because of ignorance.
You know, I wanted to add that people are aware. Do you know that before you wouldn't find all these bagged products that don't have label? But now, just go to the market. You will find things like cornflakes, no label in transparent big bags, things that companies rejected, like offset of what they have produced. You find even noodles. You find milk. People now buy brandless milk, milk that don't have any name, you know, they're not industrial milk. And this is what they use. And you're telling me, consumers know. It's just unfortunate that the money is not there. Even if they wanted to go for quality, they don't even know how to.
If a whole lot of people know that that milk they purchase from is a byproduct, a lot of people might not buy it again. Yes. We need sensitization. That's what we're saying. They don't know.
Yes.
A lot of people don't know. How do you go about doing that? To the markets, talk to them while they are there. Go to places where they gather and let them know. And you too, how are you guys sensitizing people about this?
That some people don't know. Just last week, you know, during this month of meeting, we try as much as we can to visit as many groups, women groups we can. Last week we were in One, is there Gangwata or Urumba, so where they have their meeting, we sensitized a good number of women of that community. And when I mentioned this industrial milk and sugars and things like that, people buy in their large quantities and share. A woman approached me after, saying that honestly, she didn't know that this is like this. But she made a promise that they never to indulge in that again. So many people don't know.
They don't, and she will carry on from there.
On our side, when we talk of sensitization, actually, we don't have any other job more than sensitizing consumers. Just as we are here now, we also visit other places. We go to markets on a daily basis. We go to churches. If we live here now, some people are already waiting. We are going to a certain market today. I won't mention the name now, but we're going to a certain market today. For that sake, sensitization. Because if our people are not informed, they will be deformed. And the problem is that if we allow this continue to happen, you see, people's health will be deteriorating by the day.
But we're delving deeply now into challenges of all of this.
Okay.
Now, let's talk about the supply, the demand factors and all of that. You said something about price, that probably there's nobody regulating price in Nigeria. Now, as regarding this commodity, because there's this mentality we have in this part of the world that when something is expensive, it's original. When it is low, it's not original. And you see that, you will see somebody could still be selling the fake thing, packaged in a way as an original stuff, and at the end of the day, you end up buying something that is not, original. In all of this, where do we go from here?
It's still a sensitization and also making the producers to be alive to their own duties. They have responsibilities.
1 minute, please.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yes, good morning to you. Your name and location, please.
Yeah. My name is Abraham and I'm calling from Sokoto.
All right, Abraham from Sokoto. Good morning. Go ahead with your questions or contributions.
I would like to contribute to what you were saying this morning.
Go ahead.
I had a funny experience when I went to the grocery store to buy some items. And I saw on top of the item that I want to buy a price written on top of it, 100 naira. But the person selling it for me, he selling it for me for 150. And I was like, no, now this is 100 naira written on top of it. Why are you selling it 150 for me? So I believe it's the first speaker that actually made that point, that if definitely we have a body that will regulate price, we won't be in business right now, seriously. So I would like to throw more light. Let's see if we can find a way forward.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. You know, what he said, I'll quickly just, also, share my experiences. I went to one of the grocery stores that just close by, and you find out that they have this particular product. There's a price tag on it. You pick the product. For instance, you want to buy noodles, and it's written 130 there. You pick the product, and when you get to, where you're supposed to pay, you see that the product is being sold for 150. Now, this price issue is regarding your responsibility. Is there something that will be done or can be done? Because the truth is, people go into productions these days, and because they know that people would need this particular product, they produce it, and they fix whatever price they probably feel it's fine for them. What happens to the consumers?
Yeah, that most times we begin to think about our time, that would I make case because of 10 naira, not knowing that if you leave it, it will keep piling. If you go to a store and see a product labeled 10 naira,
Yes.
when you get to the pay point and the price changes, it is your right to pay the exact amount that was labeled there,
Or
because
drop
it is deception on the side of the consumers. If you write 10 naira, the person buying must pay that 10 naira. So if you add any other thing, there's a law against it.
What if the person who is
The
selling?
law against it.
Yes.
Okay, there's a law. Okay,
There's
because
a
you
law
said
against it,
either
yes.
you pay, either you insist on paying the right price,
Or
or
you
you
drop
drop it.
it. Or
you
but,
drop it.
But dropping it, of course, they will be fine if you drop it. They'll be fine if you drop it. But you need the product in question.
Yes. What we do in this case now, if we notice something like that, like we can't be everywhere
Yes.
at the same time.
Yes.
If we notice something like that, we will go to that particular place and question them, why is this happening? Then we take it off from there. Like somebody like me now, nothing on earth can make me see where I have a price of 10 naira placed on a product. If I go to pay and you tell me it is 11 naira, it's not done. Come to the issue of this airtime. You see that everywhere, most places you go now to buy airtime, the one of 100 naira, they'll tell you it is 110 naira. There's this woman that sell airtime close to my house. She has known that I cannot add 10 naira. So when I come, even if others are paying, I say, madam, this is wrong. Sell this thing. The value is 100 naira. So you can't be ripping people off their money. It's not good. You understand? But they will always come with this idea of if we say like that, we'll not make gain, we'll not that they give to us at 10 naira. If the business is not good for you, forget about it.
Okay, apart from going to the store to find out why they branded the product 100 naira and they're selling it 150, what about the company, the producers of that company? How do you get to them for them to know that you say you are selling this thing 100 naira, but the market is selling it more than that? What is their own role?
The issue here is that by that price written on it, 100 naira from the company, there's already a disclaimer. If you sell anything above that, it is no more the problem of the company. The company said 100 naira. So if you're selling above 100 naira, you can't hold the company responsible because they've placed the price there.
Okay.
We'll be going for a short break. When we return, you talked about a particular law against this. Maybe you're going to throw more light on that law because just like you talked about the disclaimer, the company has actually put in a price tag on a particular product. And when you go to buy it, you're not buying it for that same price. Is there anything the consumer can do legally, to actually get justice? We'll be right back. Stay with us. It's Good Morning, Anambra. Let's go to the streets.
Nigeria, after more than 60 years of independence, na anyị enwebara ike ịkwụ ọtọ, na anyị ka na-ada ọdụ na-egbe egbe, anyị kunite anyị ada. Nke abụọ, ka anyị gbaa mbọ na-etinye anya n'ihe gbasara ndọrọ ndọrọ ọchịchị. Ọgụgụ n'akwụkwọ nsọ na-ekwu na ọ bụrụ na ndị ezi omume ebe ihe ha kwesịrị imenụ, ịma na obodo ga-anọ n'isi na ọ na-afụ. So ka onye ọbụla tinye aka ekwu okwu elekshọn, onye ọbụla pụta unu anazinafe ego, unu nalụgofe ego tinye n'akpa, unu atụọ conscience unu, because at the end of the day ha na-asụ unu na-asị ahụ ego ahụ anwaba abịaba ihe sọrọ fa ndị onwere ọnụ unu ga-eji wee gwa fafa emena ife sọrọ ha maka na ego ka ha ji wee chụọ ọnọdụ ahụ ha nọ. So no, ya bụ ndụmọdụ m nwere.
The value of a product goes with the cost of the product. So when the value of the product is high, the cost ought to be a bit high, not very, very high, but at least. But when it is low, the cost has to come down. I think value goes with, determines cost of things. So when we see prices hike in prices and there is no commensurate improvement in quality, then there's something happening. And it simply shows we don't have quality control board, which we used to, I think we used to have such things in years back, but now it has disappeared, and then we need to restore it, because people are producing things you cannot believe, and yet we pay more for things that are not worthy to be paid for. So the advice to the government is to have quality control. Another thing is to have price control board. That's what we call price control board. When you move out of the regular price of products in the market, the government has to intervene and say to them, bring down that price. And they do. That's the job of the government. It's not the job of the private sector to do that. It's the job of the government to do. So the government has to, again, review its price board, the board that takes care of the price of products and even some other services in the land. So that is it.
Government should, they know you have people who are regulatory body who can monitor them. To do that, to monitor them, why should they at the same time hitting their prices and at the same time compromising with the quality of the products they produce? So what happened is that it's left for government to implement those laws through their regulatory bodies. That's my opinion. Okay, because they can be increasing the price, taking the prices, and at the same time offering the consumers low quality products. So it's a bad way of doing business.
Ọ na-ewute m rinne maka na ụmụaka ka na-azụlite azụlite. Ọ na-abụzi ka isi ha na ihe ekọrọ iji wee zụ ha. Ọ bụrụ ego wele mkpata. Ịkpata ya akpata nwa obere ihe ka ọ ya egota. Ema na anyị na-agwa ndị na-achị anyị ka ha na-egere anyị ntị. Ka ha na-ejekwa n'ahịa wee na-ekwu ihe ọnụ n'otu esi eme ya. Mana anyị chọpụta a na-ebutere ha nke anụ ụlọ. Onwedoro enwere efe ije n'ahịa kwe ya ọnụ. Ndị ogbenye na onwe efa ndị na-alụpụta ihe nka maka ihe dị ụzọ na-abọ nke a na-ebubata na nke anyị na-alụta n'onwe anyị. Efu na nke ahụ anyị na-alụta n'onwe anyị na ụzọ esi eje ugbo ọ dịghọ mma. Alụgo m ọrụ ugbo na Atani wee fụ afụ dị ebe ahụ igwupụta ji na igwupụta ya ji ebe a ọ bụrụ na gọọmenti ya ekweghị anyị ntị onye banyekwa ọ na-eme ka ibe ya ha kaba arụ gaa to the grassroots fụ na nni ọnụ na-anyịzi anyị ike.
Okay, welcome back. We have gone to the streets and we're back. You have heard people lamenting. They weren't talking, they were lamenting. And it's like that everywhere. Everywhere you go, from the east to the west, to the north, to the south. Everybody, some people called us, was it 2 days ago, from Zakibiam and Castina, all those areas, and they said that hunger, that it's difficult to take care of your children, to feed them. So it is everywhere. What do we do? And then some of us are even piling the problem the more by creating artificial problem added to the ones you have. Economy of Nigeria, I don't know where we got it wrong. Okay, because sometimes if you say you want to blame these people, you look at the cost of production. Look at the gas, look at fuel, look at electricity, everything is on the high side. Even the raw materials they use is on the high side. You don't even know who to blame in this. But at least give us quality something. Don't give us the one that will kill us after buying it with your hard-earned money and you still go home to suffer one disease or the other. This is where you guys come in. Engineer Ada.
Yes, thank you. What we preach is what you give to me, let it be what it really is. Let's be true to ourselves. This is for the manufacturers. If you're going to manufacture a product that you used to sell for 500 and then you feel that after incurring all the cost of production, that is now going to be 800, just make your case. When consumers see that really this is what it should be, I know that some people that can afford it will still go for it, knowing that it is quality. Quality is the key. You don't give me you know, let me know that what I'm getting is what it is. Let me get value. Now, if you know, there are people, you know, when you come to production, there are different, okay, sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay, there are different cadre, will I use that word? Like if you have there are some products that you have the premium brand, even in rice. You have it, you have the premium, you have the gold. You find out that some have this brownish mixture. It's still rice, but it's on its own grade. Properly distilled. Properly distilled. You know, a little bit cheaper than the premium one. So if I have the money for that one, let me go for that one. Let the consumers be truly informed.
I know when you brand a bag of rice gold and I go home and find out it's chaff, is a byproduct of rice.
And we also implore the government to make it easy for the local producers. The last man that spoke, I really enjoyed what he said. We have things we bring in. We know that importation of products for manufacturing is very, very tough now. But the things that are locally produced from our farms, things like Gary, you find out that a painter is now very crazy. The price is crazy.
And the woman selling Gary will tell you that now dollar.
So when we interviewed,
what is dollar?
Are they using dollar to now produce Gary? Things like sachet water. The other day we went and we found out that this 60 cl that they're writing is no longer 60 cl. In fact, they're not even up to 50.
And they're selling it higher.
You see?
To drink a sachet of water.
A bag of water now is 250 naira. For some very good money.
And
the water is down there. It doesn't finish. Perhaps you only need water.
You don't need dollar for water now.
To pump it,
and
then get the sachet.
Are we not our own problems? Because
we are.
Most times we are.
When we see issues like this, we're always calling the government. The other day I was driving past Qatar, and you can see people following one way and all of that. I don't ask the driver. I said, "Will you say this one is Buhari again?" Because here's the problem, you know, at every little thing we're calling the government. I understand that the government has a role to play. In fact, a bigger role to play. But the citizens, don't you think if we do our own part, then maybe the sufferings may even be, you know, so less in a way that we can even at least keep managing.
Okay. Mr. Humphrey, I would like you to throw more light.
Let's take this call before that message. Hello, good morning. Yes, good morning. morning. Okay, so as much as possible,
You can see
please.
that we are waiting for you. We are not talking, but the problem is that there was volume on your TV set, so you couldn't hear us. So when next you call, bring it down.
Yes,
I was going to ask you, you said something about the sensitization mission that you went on One and other places, telling women the problem with this, what do you call it? I think you need to throw more light on that here. How dangerous is it dangerous to our health? Otherwise, what do we do? Is anybody there?
Yes, someone is there, but I was like, hello, good morning.
Hello.
All right, good
morning.
Yes, good morning. Your name and location.
Good morning. My name is Okoye Joseph.
All right, calling us from where?
Can I make my comment?
You can. Tell us, where are you calling us from?
I'm calling because somebody within the panel mentioned the dollar mechanism. When I talk about one, only we price the Ghanaian, we go and we get that $10 in aspect.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I was trying to say the problem with this industrial milk and sugar and the rest of them and salt is that it's not something that is supposed to be consumed directly. You understand? You use it to produce another product. Like the milk, the salt, and the what other things. So that is why they will write on the bag for industrial use. Sometimes it comes in 50 kg bag or 25 kg bag. And the producers...
Hello, good morning. Go ahead.
The producers will produce and write for industrial use. So what it means is that you must use it to produce another product before it goes into the stomach. But if you go on to eat it like that, the adverse effect of it is that there's something we call iodine content. Come to issue of salt, for instance. If you buy that big one, when you open it, the iodine content will be going out because it evaporates. It's like air. Now, when it goes out, what you are eating then is no more good product but chaff. And it will end up, if you're lucky, it might not show immediately. Some that are not lucky, you have what is called goiter. Now, if you go to buy the small sachet that is iodized, you will see that within a space of time, 1 week or thereabout, you've exhausted it. Then you've eaten a good quality. But if you buy the big one, it is not supposed to be consumed directly. Secondly, you may not end up eating it finishing it on time. Then the good this thing that is inside has gone out. You are eating chaff.
Yes. Cornflakes, golden morn, and all whatnot.
They're the same because
those ones are they for industrial use too?
The packaging, no, not for industrial use. The package, like the activist said, some of these products are maybe spoiled product from the company. And because of the economic situation of the country these days, they will say, let's go out and sell it. People will buy it. And the people that are buying, they don't know the process this has gone through. They don't know why it got spoiled.
When they say, okay, 1 minute please. When they say it's spoiled, what does that mean? It's not good for consumption?
No. It's not like it is spoiled. It's just like when you're producing something like cornflakes now. Because it goes through heat, some of the fall-offs are the ones that are burnt. Okay. That are darker than the normal golden cornflakes color. So those ones that are burnt, the processing system, we reject them. So, they will pack all those ones. Something like noodles, those broken ones, it cannot stay in the packet again. So they bag them. Okay. Why I was just trying to mention the rate of deterioration of things. Okay. Before, most of these things were used for making animal feeds.
Okay.
You know, if you have a dog, you can buy that noodle bag.
So we are the animals now.
But now,
so
things are forced us to start buying those things.
So, okay, Ebere, you wanted to ask something before?
Yeah, I was going to ask, you know, I think you just made it clear, because what I wanted to ask is, why would the company have a bad product, or probably a product that, you know, they feel it's not consumable?
Yeah, like,
you know, she has cleared it. During process, production process, something might happen, either power outage or whatever that may lead to that. Not go. You know, these machines are set in such a way that if this product is not like this, it can't pass through.
It, yes.
So that one that doesn't pass through will now be put aside. Now the angle I was going, hence there's a process of producing this. If it doesn't go that through process from the beginning to the end, and something that was not supposed to be used bare hands to pack, we now use bare hand to pack it. You've exposed that to infection. Infection. So that's what I'm saying. You don't know how this was packed. So if the companies will now have a way of packaging this and make it in such a way that this is not bad, it's just that it didn't go the normal way it's supposed to go. People
and maybe identifying it, you know, giving it some kind of label to even make it, they say, we understand that this is also from the company, but this is what happened, why this is like this. I think it's going to make some sense.
When you go to supermarket, products that are about to expire. They bring it out and they put it in the shelf. They write reduced item. So you know that it is near expiry. That is the same thing I expect these companies to do. You don't just bag this thing and throw it in the market.
Throw it in the market.
You are just seeing conflicts. You don't even know the brand, don't even know anything. Even tissue people are doing it. Why don't you write something to show that, okay, it's at a reduced price? You know, maybe it fall off of company's production. We know that they are edible, but dust might have gone into it through the packaging, you know, when they were bringing it. Those bags might have been punctured. And then they are thrown open to all sorts of infection.
Now, let's begin to round up by profiling solution to the economic situation in Nigeria. Okay, let's advise our people. One, on the alternative routes. Like I said earlier, it's not everything that, there are things that you can do without to be able to cut costs. Okay, the other day we were talking about inflation, and then we were able to suggest a whole lot of things that you can do to, you know, ameliorate that situation. So in terms of, since you are talking about consumables now, what will you kind of suggest for our people to vie into locally that they can lay their hands, that is cheaper, they can even do on their own, maybe to supplement milk or this or that, okay? Let's look at that area before we begin to round up.
Thank you. What I would suggest is that we should go more natural. Like this milk that you're talking about, beyond the normal packet milk that we came into knowing, because it has not always been. We have things like soya milk that one can easily make in their home. It's not so expensive. Just buy soya beans and you make it. Even now, you can learn how to make it from anywhere. Those ones are there. You can make the soya bean, the powder, you know, and then these children will still get the protein that they can get from it.
And they are good alternative to milk. Yes. They are good alternative to.
We have egg, even though egg is, but it's not as expensive as you find the meat, like we are all crying now. We can substitute with those ones. We do farm products. Everybody in their home now should have some garden, some form of garden. You should plant one or two things. And if you're getting your ogo from your own end, the man never come and say na always.
And
you know the quality.
So why don't you do your own gardening? It doesn't take much. If every home can have some vegetable gardening, you know, people that can afford it, you can even start a little fishery. You can start with 10 pieces or 20 pieces. You just get fingerling, get a small tarpaulin or butter, and start doing these things.
We need a way out because there's hunger in the land.
3 months, 4 months, will load dry.
In one animal protein in your house.
Dry, and you can have fish that will last you for at least 5 months.
You see?
Plus. So these are things that are doable. We should not just rely on these imported products. Like for me, like here bread, in my house, I now bake my bread because I kept buying it and I was like, what is this? With my family of 8, it's not possible. I had to go and buy flour in quantity, bought sugar, and flour goes since to tell you, I can do another bread. You see? Today, I've not got to buy any bread.
And we all have ovens that are wasting in the house.
Wasting in the house.
You know, but
so
then when you locally produced ovens that you can get that will last you, and you can use
like in the chocolate.
Yeah, I'm a house, yeah.
So and you
like
can bake things with it.
That is what I use.
Really?
I don't use my gas.
Really?
I don't have the money for that gas.
That
That locally produced oven, you can even construct your own. Just house it and put a shelf. Just make sure that the fire is not too much and you're good to go.
This is good.
You can bake your bread.
Thank you. Yes. Oga Humphrey.
You
are the man of the house.
Yes.
You guys are feeling the heat of bringing money because the list the same list next week.
It keeps changing and I don't know why. So sometimes if I even ask my wife what is happening, she'll be like, honey, maybe one of these days you accompany me to the market. And the fear of accompanying her to the market is if you spend more. So if you have like 10 naira as your body defense, you may end up spending it there without even seeing what you've bought. So the issue, like she said, we have completely lost our Africanness. Let's come back home. If we come back home, things will be better for us.
All right, thank you very much. Well, IJ, we have to go.
Yes, we really have to.
We have to go. Well, that's it. That's about it on today's edition of the program. Good morning, Anambra. You've heard it from our two guests in the house. It is true there's hunger in the land. It is true that the economy is not smiling at anybody. But if there are things you can do as alternative, to save yourself at least from this hardship and stay alive, it's important to do. Mrs. Engineer Dora has actually, giving us some ideas on what you can use to substitute. And then you can, start substituting with the likes of egg. You still get,
guilty. Okay, fanchabusi animal protein. The law be fine the work. I'm a not a cost. There's inflation in the land. Organic and deep on we are normally organic in obodo. And all the no way measures and it's in a sewer benata ife. Yotago absolutely there are a whole lot of things that can substitute for yam. Yotago utu akode kona and they bido kwana a kitcheneta for Mako feju emalo organic. Odi ko ga di otu ai ewelo ndi ba na we esete ekwe. Isete ototo ekwe na Obolo brunch. Yotago ewenita ka na elife for about 10-11 or take care of morning and night. And a whole lot of things. And try to cut not a cost. Then can be other na why you try CBs by go there na milk we save gas. Yotago the tin eko it say no ko make rice oto if any save cost. Yeah, when we check I didn't look if I were Gabi guy, Yotago. Dalon. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, and I want to say a very big thank you to our guest who's talked about this issue this morning, Mr. Humphrey Emmanuel Akam. He is the Principal Consumer Education Officer, Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission (FCCPC) here in Anambra State. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
And of course, our engineer, Mrs. Adora Mba, who's a consumer rights expert and of course a homemaker. Thank you so much for all your contributions. Thank you very much. IJ.
Oh yeah, we must go. Thank you for those of you that joined us this morning. It's time for breakfast. Oh no, not yet time for breakfast. Where is the guy going? It's not yet time for breakfast. Even though I got nested in there. I always say, a good knee. Dalono, cameraman, thank you very much. The MCR guys, thank you. The producer, Ifi Unachuku, the very powerful woman. Thank you, everybody that made it happen this morning. You're great. Thank you. Do stand by for other programs that will come your way this morning. But for this set, it is closed for today. Join us tomorrow. My name is C. John Ma Uche.
I'm a very good night. Bye-bye.